up next are two young filmmakers who've already made their first full-length movie at only 14 years old. They're signed on with an LA manager who also manages Gary Busey. Here's their trailer and what's in the future for them.
You get your hands off her, or you get a bullet right between your eye.
I was looking for a warm place to sleep.
Don't you got a home?
I'm so blessed to know you.
I was a hand without a glove until you came along.
And I suggest, unless the two of you want to start searching for alternate living arrangements, Mr. Ingram provide me with proof of a marriage license as well as his monthly fees, or assurance you have vacated the premises.
You're not going anywhere.
I was your father's attorney. Mr. Ingram, what do you intend to do with this money?
I hear a baby crying.
You got the dinero, money, lots of money. Take the train. Take them all to California.
Thank you, Joshua Ingram, for everything you've done for me. I'll never love another the way I love you, Joshua Ingram.
These kids, you saved their lives. You gave them a second chance. You gave me a second chance.
So come first light. You boys are gonna head north up that road about 3 miles or so.
This saloon does not operate as a saloon any longer.
Well, looky here.
What? Take her away! He took my son!
New York City? Same too? Well, I'll be damned. You the son of that no good dentist and his wife that I cut down in New York City? Drop this ant.
At only 14 years old, our guests are already living the dream. Brandon Watson wrote a screenplay that came alive in production last year. As the writer, he also directed and acted and edited his own full-length movie called Calico, which is also a California and Calgary-based film. Alongside with him is co-star actress 14-year-old Gemma Brandon. She had competed for the role of Priscilla O'Neill against 11 other actresses, but had an edge with her experience not only in musical theater, but in national commercials like for Samsung and Allstate. I have to say, wow, both of you are amazingly accomplished at such a young age. How does that feel for both of you?
It feels pretty awesome. It's just...
It's exciting.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to go for your dream?
I've been doing this since I was 4, actually. I went to my parents and said, what do I have to do to become a filmmaker? Because I've loved movies ever since I was born. So he said, my parents said, you have to learn how to read and write. So I said, okay. So they taught me how to read and write, and I was reading and writing by the time I was in kindergarten. And I was just writing screenplays for years. And so when I was 13, I started taking it seriously because my parents saw some of the stuff that I did, and they said, this is actually pretty good. So I guess I just decided, you know what, we're going to do this because you just got to go and do it.
And how about for you? You started at the age of 8, is that right?
I started acting more in film when I was at the age of 8. When I was younger, I did a whole bunch of plays in school. Like, I loved drama so much, that was my favorite thing to do. And by the age of 8, I was going to an acting school and acting in national commercials, so.
Wow, fantastic. So the movie that you had just recently produced, which is already finished its final edit, we also have on the phone your manager, Ron Sampson. Where is the future of this movie going?
Well, I hope it's going as far as possible. I think it's a gem of a movie, and obviously I'm very high on the 2 lead actors. And I'm in negotiations right now with a distribution.
Absolutely. And so where do you see the future of both Gemma and Brandon going?
That's about the easiest question I've ever had to deal with. Obviously, I think they're both going very, very far, and their accomplishments up to this point are amazing. I'm going to use all my abilities to make the answer to that question very, very far.
So you're trying to get this movie to go internationally. Can you explain the process?
You have to get hooked up with a distributor, and the distributor gets it placed in as many ways as possible, online and in the theaters, and that's the way it's done. And we hope to have a publicist participate in this and make the whole venture and the actors very, very successful and very big. And this is their first one. And where we go from here, the first one is the hardest, but it's a great film, great acting, and that's where it's at right now.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ron. Of course, we're looking forward to the future of both of you. So can you tell us a little bit more about the movie Calico and what inspired you to make it, first of all, because it's also a Western theme, like an older Western theme too.
Yeah, it's a Western. I've always loved Westerns. Western's probably my favorite genre of movie. My favorite film at the time was Django Unchained by Quentin Tarantino. It's an awesome movie. And I watched that movie and I said, I should make a Western. So, I've always wanted to make a Western, but I thought it was really, really tough because, you got to get the costumes, you got to make sure it looks right, you got to get all this stuff to put it together. But I just decided to write it, and I wrote it, and I got a lot of support from my parents. They basically helped me through the entire thing financially, and yeah, so we put it together and we just shot it, and yeah, it turned out great.
So discuss some of the challenges of that, because it is really hard to make a older film to, I guess, match in line with all the costumes like you mentioned, and the places. Where were some of the locations that you filmed at?
We shot at the CL Ranch, which is right outside of Cochrane, Alberta. That was pretty much the only location we shot at. We had an entire town to shoot at, and we shot a couple scenes, in Calgary, just like the nighttime stuff, because you didn't have to dress anything up, and we did some green screening as well in the studio. But yeah, we shot at the CL Ranch, and Gemma's mom, Sherry, really, really did an awesome job on costumes. She put 90% of the costumes together, and she did a fantastic job. We also got some help from some of the actors with props and stuff like that. And my dad got a lot of props together and dressed the sets up. So yeah.
That's pretty exciting. And so you're the lead actress in the movie. Priscilla O'Neill is your character.
Yeah.
So it was a challenging role. There's a roller coaster of emotions that go through it. Can you discuss the challenges as an actress and how you overcame those challenges?
Well, Priscilla, she went through a lot, and at the time in the movie, she just went through something really horrible to her because her family died. And she's out in the streets, and she's pretty much lost all hope for everything, and she doesn't really know what to do now. And she's lost before Josh finds her. So Priscilla, it was pretty tough to go through. It's a really challenging character, but I guess the challenging characters are more fun to play, because the harder it is, I guess the more fun it is for me, because the challenge is great.
So, and when you look into the future of how your acting career goes, what do you see?
I see me doing as many things as I can as possible, like as many things as I want to. Anything that pops up that I want to do, that's what I want to be doing. Any opportunities that come up I hope that they're going to be great. Yeah.
And you have written more than one screenplay, is that right?
Yeah, 6 screenplays in total.
Wow, fantastic. So where do you see those screenplays going?
Well, I hope Calico is a huge success, and we're able to shoot all of them, because, I've written obviously tons of screenplays throughout the years, but I guess these 6 are really the most recent ones, and they're kind of a compilation of everything I've written up till now. I'll take little bits of different stories I've written throughout the years, and basically build it up into one story. I have a story I'm writing right now, The Clinch Mountain Tracker. It's a screenplay, and it's another Western, actually. I hope to shoot that someday. I don't want to do it right after Calico. But we'll see what happens with that. And I also have Supposition, which is the story of 18-year-olds who go to law school. One of them gets framed for murder, And I also have Encounter, which is like an alien abduction invasion kind of movie. Yeah, I have a lot of screenplays that I hope to make one day. Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. So on the movie Calico, you tell us about some of your favorite scenes or some of the most, I guess, adventurous scenes.
Well, I think my favorite, I guess the movie's broken up into chapters, which is one of my homages to Stanley Kubrick. He broke his films up into chapters. I guess my favorite chapter would be The Little Filly from New York, which is where I guess the past comes back to Josh and Priscilla. And I don't really want to spoil anything, but it's pretty awesome. And Josh is really, a hero in that chapter.
It's really intense.
Yeah, it's really intense.
And not only have you both acted in it and you wrote it, but you also edited that piece. As a producer, I know that editing is really tough, especially it's one vision for the writer, another vision for the director, and a final vision for the editor. Can you tell us the process you were going through in that sense?
Yeah, sure. I've been editing ever since I started out because it was just me and my sister. So I've used all kinds of editing software. I've used Sony Vegas, but I use Premiere to edit the film, Adobe Premiere. And I'd say I'm a really organized editor because I have everything in bins and it's really, really organized. So I really efficiently edited the film and I used all the knowledge I've accumulated over the years to do it. And it went by really, really fast. And Gemma helped me out a lot in post-production. She did basically 90% of the color correction you see in the movie. And she did a really awesome job. She picked it up just like that.
Fantastic. So at only 14 years old, how does it feel to have accomplished this much already in both of your lives?
Feels awesome. It was a lot of hard work, but it's really paying off. I'm really glad about how the movie turned out. And yeah, it just feels really good.
And how about you?
To me, I guess it doesn't really feel as much like I've done so much. I feel like I could have done more, but I guess it's been fun and it's great. It's a great experience and I wish that everyone could go through it actually.
What has been throughout your acting career, both musical theater and on camera, what has been a very memorable experience for you overall?
A memorable experience? Honestly, just being on set is the best feeling ever. I love being on set and acting and being in front of the camera. I just love that.
Fabulous. And so for my last question for both of you, what is some advice that you can give other people your own age, advice to follow their dreams early?
I guess just follow your dreams. Just do whatever you want to do. Don't feel like you can't do it because of your age. I mean, I was told a lot, you can't do it, you're too young. But I just went out and did it anyway, and I think you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, I agree with Brandon on that. Just try and do whatever you can to get to your dreams.
Fantastic. Well, it's really exciting to have both of you on in the studio today. So check out Calico, upcoming this year.